Francis Tuttle Technology Center offers a wide host of classes throughout the summer months, and to outline those classes, to talk about them, and this is exciting, are the two individuals with us, Karen Henderson and Terry Wallace, Adult and Career Development Specialists. Delighted to have you here, and it seems, Karen, that you've been nominated to begin our visit here about these classes.
Sure. We have so many things going on, especially through adult and career development. Those classes go on, 12 months of the year, the entire time. So even though our main school year is out, or what people think about a school year, the ACD classes, the short-term classes, are going all the way through summer and all year long.
And we were talking before the program about professional people needing their continuing education credits. In what areas do you offer those?
Well, several areas. Our biggest ones are insurance and real estate, and they can come out there and get their continuing education classes or their units, at our center. And we even have some online classes. They can come out there and get those at their own time. So
what better time than during the summer to
right,
get those things taken care of?
Right.
Wow. Well, let's speak. Just kind of take us through a tour here of some of the courses.
Okay. I offer a lot of creative art classes, and very often we get employers that call that want to hire people that have completed some of even our creative art classes, like floral design or cake decorating, cooking classes. You think of those as just hobby classes, but we have had a lot of employers call and want to hire people that have completed those programs. So.
And that is the hands-on kind of training here again that we're talking about. There was a story in Time magazine just recently about technical schools and those that are providing hands-on training and how valuable that is, and employers are looking for that.
Certainly. There are all kinds of learners, the right brain, left brain learners. Some people are visual and kinesthetic and, auditory, but there's all, kinds of learners, and we need to, address that. And we feel like we do a good job at Francis Tuttle doing that.
We encourage everyone to be a lifelong learner.
Definitely.
Oh, that is so true. Which brings me to this. I'm glad you mentioned that. What kind of age range, just out of curiosity, who would you say is the oldest individual that you've had partake of these?
Oh, well, we have a lot of classes for Golden Agers, so that's for anyone 60 or better. And I think some of my Golden Agers classes hit maybe 85, maybe 90 in some of those classes. And they're paced a little bit slower, and they cover the same curriculum, but just requires a very patient instructor. And they have a lot of fun. Meet other people their own age, and sometimes they continue on with other classes.
That is so needed, because like you say, the brain doesn't necessarily need to slow down.
Well, they get tired of depending on their grandchildren or the kids next door.
That is so great. And I notice here we were talking about real estate, insurance professionals, personal enrichment courses in the creative arts. Let's talk about that. Give me some insights into that.
Okay. We offer a lot of different kinds. We have a wonderful new program for interior design fundamentals, and the lady that teaches that is phenomenal. She does a wonderful, wonderful job. We have a whole series of jewelry making beading classes and easy earrings, and you leave making with a bracelet that you've made yourself. We have all kinds. Stained art, stained glass class is phenomenal, and it usually fills up every time, and they make beautiful pieces they end up with that. I think they leave with 2 or 3 pieces, really. I took the floral design class myself, and every night we walked out with like 3 bouquets of beautiful fresh flowers, sometimes silk flowers, but it was a wonderful experience learning how to do that. And I was worn out by the time the class was over because we worked at such a fast pace. So
when you're dealing with decorating of whatever kind, do you at times use computers to illustrate or to show?
They can.
Some of those things.
They have all kinds of software that I think Lonnie, our instructor, takes them, shows them or tells them about the different kinds of, we'll show the floor plan and
Well,
that
Terry,
stuff.
this is a question I'll shoot to you. How do computers come into play in many different areas with the educational offerings?
Well, it used to be there was a very fine line between a particular creative art class and the computer world. And photography is one of those where it's beginning to blend, because now there's film photography, which has been around forever, but more and more people are going to digital photography. And if they go to digital photography, then they want to learn how to edit that image. As our photography instructor says, photographs are not taken, they're made. And so there's a fine line there now between where what used to be just a hands-on class, you now enhance that tool with the computer. So.
Well, let's talk about some of the summer offerings that relate, Terry, to some extent or entirely relating to computers.
Well, we have a lot of Adobe classes. We have the Adobe CS5 suite. That includes Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign. And I have a great story about an email I just actually received from one of my instructors this morning. He teaches Adobe Photoshop. And he had an excellent student, young girl, who was wanting to get into Photoshop. And he found an internship for her with the OKC Redhawks. As a result of that internship, they created a full-time job, and she is now a graphic designer with the Redhawks. And all as a result of starting on her path at Francis Tuttle with some ACD classes, or Adult and Career Development.
Absolutely, the value of the hands-on experience. Mm-hmm. And I would imagine that really in the state-of-the-art facilities that you all have, how does that come into play?
Well, we try to keep up with the very latest technology, and that means I'm a lifelong learner, and our instructors are lifelong learners, because every day there's something new to learn, and we need to be on the cutting edge to offer that to our students. So when the new software comes out, the new books come out, we have to retool, so to speak, and be prepared to teach that, because the community will be looking for qualified people.
The community, the employers, mm-hmm. everyone involved. And Karen, let me offer that same question to you. The importance of being cutting edge when it comes to the tools that are used
mm-hmm.
for all the training.
It's very important, because our goal is to produce students that are ready to hit the ground running, not ones that have to start and then be retrained once they get on the job. We want them to be ready with the equipment and programs that the companies are using. So it's very important.
Now, the educational and personal enrichment courses, it looks like you have a whole book of those.
We do. We have a lot. We have a lot. And that's what I was talking about with the creative arts. And we have writing classes. We have needlework classes. Just anything that you want to do, we've got something in the ballpark.
Okay,
of that.
Inquiring minds want to know. Tell me what kind of feedback you've gotten from some of the students going through these programs. How has it enriched their life experience?
Well, like I said earlier, many times they just took a little class thinking there was not much to it, and then, have gotten an internship possibly. And that, although we don't, that's not part of what we offer normally, those stories happen frequently, or employers, call me and say, I need someone that has completed, some kind of training or whatever, and can you have them contact me, or those kinds of things.
Okay, so sometimes you become an intermediary.
Uh-huh.
You know certain people have gone through certain courses, an employer will call.
Right.
So you've got several hats.
Mm-hmm. And oftentimes, we've had, for example, a little class that we offer is called napkin folding. And then I had a lady call me, and she had her bridge club that wanted to take it. And so we set up a specific class just for them. And then we have, very often we have businesses that call us that see a class in the catalog, and they want to offer it to their employees, and they'll get that class scheduled, and we're glad to do that. And it can be on-site or off-site at their location.
Social organizations, companies, all becoming intertwined in different educational interests.
Exactly. Exactly.
We have a lot of small business owners too, a lot of people with the economy the way it is trying to do a startup business. Maybe they're trying to retrain for another job in midlife, and these classes are very valuable to the small business owners. They can't afford to hire an entire network team to come in and set up their office. They can't afford to hire a web designer to create a presence on the internet. So they take a lot of our classes to learn how to be successful with their small business. And web design's a big series of classes that we have also.
So how is web design growing? Has it grown a lot over the last few years?
The tools to create a website have grown. And it's much easier now to create a website than it used to be. It used to be you had to know the HTML code, and now you can purchase software like Dreamweaver or Expression Web that generates that for you. And of course there is a methodology for making sure that your website is searchable by your search engines. And all of our classes in web design teach how to write content, appropriate content for your website to be searched easily by your search engines.
It's wonderful to see some of those acronyms, computer acronyms, go away. And like you say, simplicity begins to slowly arise out of this entire process.
Right.
Well, this has got to be an interesting experience that you get responses from students who come through who may absolutely be deathly afraid of computers or feel confused at first.
Especially the Golden Agers. And their comments are usually very heartwarming because of the two instructors that I have that are very patient and very kind. And sometimes she has to keep her thumb on them just a little bit. And they are very appreciative afterward and talk about how patient she was or he was. And they'll be back for more. And that's what we like to hear.
At one time we thought of maybe two-year colleges or technical facilities as dealing just with youngsters.
Mm-hmm.
But that's changing, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Our
Absolutely.
average student through the ACD classes is a 45-year-old woman, and it's part of our demographics. And so, you know, we offer a lot of things, and it's interesting to see how broad our spectrum is about as far as the types and numbers of students that we reach and ages of students. Anyone can take an ACD class, like we said, 16 or older, and we do. We get, I think we've had a gentleman that took an insurance class that was 93 one time, but he wanted to just keep his license current, so yeah.
It is a broad range and so much that's to be offered to a person of any age.
Any age.
And thank you so much for outlining this for us. We need to see the evolution of this, and I'm sure we'll have you back so we can get some updates. Karen Henderson and Terry Wallace, both adult and career development specialists at Francis Tuttle Technology Center. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.